Thank you for standing by, and welcome to the iQIYI second quarter 2022 earnings conference call. All participants are in listen-only mode. There will be a presentation followed by a question-and-answer session. If you wish to ask a question, you will need to press the star key followed by the number 1 on your telephone keypad. I would now like to turn the conference over to Ms. Chang Yu, Investor Relations Director. Please go. Ms. Yu, please proceed.
Thank you, operator. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining iQIYI's second quarter 2022 earnings conference call. The company's results were released today and are available on the company's investor relations website at ir.iqiyi.com. On the call today are Mr. Yu Gong, our founder, director, and CEO, Mr. Jun Wang, our CFO, Mr. Xiaohui Wang, our CCO, Chief Content Officer, Mr. Wenfeng Liu, our CTO, Chief Technology Officer, and Ms. Vivian Wang, our CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, Mr. Yu Qiaoduan, Senior Vice President of our membership business, and Mr. Xianghua Yang, our Senior Vice President of movies and overseas business. Mr. Gong will give a brief overview of the company's business operations and highlights, followed by Jun, who will go through the financials. After the prepared remarks, Xiaohui, Wenfeng, Vivian, Yu Qiao, and Xianghua will join Mr. Gong and Jun in the Q&A session. Before we proceed, please note that the discussion today will contain forward-looking statements made under the safe harbor provisions of the U.S. Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Forward-looking statements are subject to risks and uncertainties that may cause actual results to differ materially from our current expectations. Potential risks and uncertainties include, but not limited to, those outlined in our public filings with the SEC. iQIYI does not undertake any obligation to update any forward-looking statement except as required under applicable law. With that, I'll now turn the call over to Mr. Gong. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I'm very pleased to take this opportunity to report on our progress in the second quarter, but more importantly, share our views on the future. In the second quarter, the company made breakthroughs once again, as well know the weak macroeconomic and COVID resurgence in Q2 had a great impact on business of most of media companies. Despite an extremely challenging environment, we still made achievements in the following 3 aspects. 1, our membership business continues to grow year-over-year. 2, we generated non-GAAP operating profit for 2 consecutive quarters and achieved sequential growth in Q2. 3, our cash flow improved significantly, and we achieved a positive operating cash flow for the very first time. These were the results of strong execution of the strategy that centered around cost optimization and efficiency improvements. Such strong results also fully demonstrated the resilience of our business. For 2 consecutive quarters, we reached our operational targets while drastically improved our financial healthiness, enabling us to face the ever-changing market environment with ease. Our solid performance in the second quarter demonstrated that iQIYI has completed its self-transformation and successfully sailed out of the storm. It also gives us the confidence to upgrade our strategy starting from the so-called third quarter this year, a strategy which will fuel our business growth and improve our financial healthiness at the same time. We would like to call it the calm growth, 冷静增长, which has the following features. 1. To pursue growth, but not at the expense of significant cash burn. We will stay cautious about the growth of opportunities with long investment cycle and high cash investment. Rather, we would actively invest more resources in iQIYI's core business and projects with higher degree of certainty and higher ROI. 2. Pursue growth for both profit and revenue. That profit should grow faster than revenue. Capitalizing revenue growth opportunity will not result in higher operating expenses. We will maintain the current lean organizational structure, embrace challenges with passion, and improve operational efficiency. 3. The value we provided to users and customers will grow ever faster than the profit. We will produce and stream more and better premium content. We will create greater value for our users and customers, and all financial returns should follow. The calm growth strategy can better motivate us and align the interests of our users, customers, and stakeholders. We hope that the calm growth strategy can help us further improve the healthiness of our business and drive our profit and revenue growth in the future. Now, let's go through the performance of each business segment in the second quarter of this year. Starting with membership services. Membership business is the most important business segment for us. We are determined to roll out strategies and allocate resources to support and guarantee the continuous business growth. The second quarter, membership revenue were RMB 4.3 billion, up 7% year-over-year. The average daily number of total subscribing members for the second quarter was 98.3 million, and monthly ARM was RMB 14.53, up 8% year-over-year. ARM has maintained a healthy annual growth rate at or above 8% for 6 consecutive quarters. The positive outcome was contributed to our newly launched membership package targeting TV devices, consistent and diversified premium content offerings, and the execution of our refined operating strategy that increased the value presentation by our members. First, we actively drove acquisition of new members on TV devices, targeting the growing demand on TV users. We launched a platinum membership plan in May, emphasizing benefits on TV side. As stressing member experience and value on TV, the monthly active members on TV devices increased by around 15% annually in the second quarter. Secondly, we continue to refine our operating strategy based on view and paying references to increase member retention, revenue member growth, and win back churn users. Another driver during the quarter was premium content as we continue to launch diversified high-quality content that caters to the varied demands of different user cohorts. For example, ordinary business, 警察鱼 tells stories about the daily life of policemen in hardworking and humorous ways. The drama harvested positive public reaction as well as revenue performance. It topped the global list for domestic dramas in the first half of 2022 with a score of 8.6, while generating the highest membership revenue on our platform during its broadcasting. With top exclusive content, we adopted an early access view model for members. We launched our original multi-season exclusive variety show, The Life of China 2022, 中国说唱巅峰对决 in late June. Members were given the privilege of early access, and the show successfully attracted over 1.3 million members on the first day of launch. In addition, we are devoted to stressing membership benefits in addition to exquisite video viewing experience. For example, we launched marketing campaigns such as Member Benefits Day and Super Brand Day, who provide members with various benefits and deals across a wide variety of brands. In the second quarter, our member benefits will access over 16 million times. Looking ahead, we will continue to launch high-quality premium content, optimize sales channel listing and offset of platform, effectively leverage various content promotion channels such as our partner Douyin to expand the reach of our premium content. Meanwhile, we will continue to improve our operational initiatives to increase member value, user loyalty, and brand awareness. And last but not least, continue to improve the experience and the monetization capability on live screens. Moving on to content, we insist on providing users with high-quality premium content that caters to differentiated view demands. As improving operating efficiency and emphasizing content quality become industry-wide keywords, we took the initiatives to adjust our content pipeline so that head premium content makes up the majority of new releases. During the second quarter, we maintained our leadership position across key operating metrics. On user traffic front, according to QuestMobile, our mobile MAU ranked number 1 in the industry. Meanwhile, our content-related measures, according to Enlightened data, we maintained the highest market share for the drama category in terms of effective video views, despite the number of new releases were not the highest in the market. Our market share for animation, including children animation, also ranked first in the industry. Meanwhile, thanks to our long-term commitment to premium content, our high-quality content library continued to show positive long-tail effects as the viewership market share of our library content also ranked number 1 in the industry. I'm pleased to see strong user engagement while sufficient supply of high-quality content while improving content-related cost ratios for key content categories. The ROI performance for drama, variety show, animation, and children's content channel all improved both annually and sequentially. During the second quarter, we continued to launch premium original content across key genres. Acclaimed original dramas included Ordinary Greatness, My Sexy Princess, 祝君好, and The Fight, 对决. The box office for our original movie Man on the Edge well over RMB 160 million, and it was one of the main contributors to the domestic movie box office in the second quarter. For children's content, the sequel to our original animation, Princess, the Doremi Season 2, 音乐公主爱美玉, made a solid revenue contribution to our membership business. For original content, one of our key strategies focused on taking a multi-season approach for our established IPs to drive long-term value. Building on the success from previous seasons, we saw strong user attraction for these return titles. During the second quarter, for our popular original variety shows released their latest season, including The Rap of China 2022, The Detectives Adventure Season 2, 能看看他安, and Exceptional, among which our original music show, The Rap of China 2022, maintained its high popularity from previous seasons, and a good number of songs from the show topped the chart on various music platforms. The second season of The Detective Adventures also ranked number 1 on multiple third-party data platforms. Meanwhile, vertical content sales model continues to meet differentiated user demands. The Lot of Losers, 破世精英, the third drama, and the Love on Shelter introduced an innovative interactive viewing feature that provides an immersive experience and brought in increased audience participation. Its Douban score started at 7.1 and went up to 7.6 given its interactive features. The Sweet on Shelter returned in June with 5 new titles, satisfying the real preference of young generation audience during summer vacation. Over the years, we have definitely seen solid improvement in the quality of our premium content offerings. For example, iQIYI's popularity index is an influential measure that indicates the popularity of our content. And any titles with over 10,000 popularity index score are clear blockbusters. Such measure is highly recognized by the industry and users. Among our content offerings, there have only been 4 titles that broke the 10,000 popularity index score, and 2 of them were launched this year, namely drama Lifelong Journey, 人之间, tailored to a relatively more mature audience group. The other one is our recently launched original drama, Love Between Fairy and Devil, 团结 from Sweet on Shelter, catering to young generations. This drama is the first original drama that broke such landmark score. demonstrating the exceptional quality of our original content is highly recognized by our users. We are now even more confident with our original content production abilities and our feature pipeline, especially for the original drama category. We look forward to bring a diverse selection of high-quality titles to our users. For the second quarter of 2022, and especially for the summer season, our content pipeline for dramas is focused on capturing young generation audience while maintaining premium content for mainstream audience. This includes The Heart of Genius, 天才基本法, 20 You Life on Season 2, 20不惑, Sweet on Delta 2022, and etc. A new season of Mr. Delta will return in the first quarter. For variety shows, we will serialize established IPs will continue to innovate new genres. For the second half of the year, a greater number of variety shows will launch compared to the first half of the year, including our original Super Sketch Show Season 2, 一年一度喜剧大赛2, Mr. Housework Season 2, 不家里的男人 and Folk, 民谣. For animation and Q-based content, we will continue to execute multi-season and diversify IP monetization strategies. Not only many of our popular titles will release their new seasons. During our summer season, we also launched the animation version of Love Between Barry and Devil, which was adapted from the same novel as a blockbuster drama. The high popularity of the drama has also brought stronger revenue performance of the animation. Apart from that, we have seen clear pickup in the overall consumer demand during the summer season. We hope that the momentum will continue and the summer demand will return to the consumer demand will return to the pre-pandemic level soon. Moving on to advertising, the macro softening and the pandemic resurgence in top-tier cities, including Shanghai and Beijing, put pressure on the overall ad business, partially on brand ads. All the players in the market face a similar challenge. However, we quickly engaged in pushing forward our ad sales program. Process after these cities began to resume its normal course of business operations starting mid-June and managed to grow our ad revenue for our original variety shows by 53% sequentially despite such challenging environment. Performance ad revenue increased by 12% annually during the quarter. This was mainly benefited from the accurate identification of user groups and customized ad solution for key accounts. Technical innovation is among our core values. Technical innovation makes it possible to bring wonderful viewing experiences to our users. For example, cooperation between our content creative team and product R&D team leads to the production of brand new open interactive episodes for drama a lot of users. Such innovative and creative stories can influence significantly from user engagement. The average time spent for the interactive episodes increased 20% as compared to conventional episodes. Moving on to new business and products, both the overseas and iQIYI business maintain sound momentum, continue to increase our long-term value, grow and enrich our ecosystem. The overseas membership revenue recorded significant annual growth, benefiting from a large increase in paid subscribers. During the quarter, we launched key titles including Timple's The Series, 黑帮少爷爱上我 and the Southern Harry Season 3, 爱上我的那7天 These hit titles appeared on the Twitter's top search list and attract a large number of viewers and advertisers, especially in Thailand and Malaysia. For the second half of the year, we will work to expand the paying user base and monetization capabilities to ensure stable growth and market position in key markets. iQIYI saw rapid annual growth in both membership and revenue and ad revenue. Average DAU for the second quarter was over 5 million, and the user engagement rate increased both annually and sequentially. iQIYI focuses on low-tier cities to differentiate it from the user base of our main app. The overlap between iQIYI and our main app remains at a very low level in the second quarter, with the DAU overlap less than 4% in June. With a distinctive user group, consumption behavior, and revenue model, iQIYI serves as a great complement to the main app and is expected to reach greater monetization potential in the future. As you know, we announced the content licensing cooperation with Douyin in July, in which we will license select content to Douyin that enables distribution and creation of iQIYI's existing content. It demonstrates both platforms are working collectively to create win-win for both platforms and users. And setting rules for the industry. More importantly, the cooperation showcases the value recognition of our exceptional content portfolio, as well as the strength and longevity of our premium long-form video content. The arrangement will unlock new opportunities that will help us penetrate into large user bases, enrich the online video ecosystem, broaden monetization opportunities, and increase the value of our IPs. We will roll out cooperation from both products and the content sides, starting in Q3. Overall, results in the second quarter will certainly encouraging in the face of special challenges from the macro environment. We significantly improved our financial results over 2 consecutive quarters while maintaining our industry-leading position. This was a result of our strong professionalism and team cohesion and execution, as well as our strategy focusing on cost optimization and efficiency improvement. In the future, under our upgraded Compound growth strategy, we aim to generate sustainable growth of non-GAAP operating profit. We are committed in providing more premium content to our users, satisfying growing spiritual and cultural demands, driving content value, and creating long-term value for our stakeholders. Now move to our CFO.
Thanks, Mr. Gong, and hello everyone. This is Jun. To start the financial section, I would like to highlight 4 key items that we have delivered. First, it's the profit growth. Second, it's the operating cash flow break even. Third, it's the 500 million fundraising. And fourth, it's the optimistic growth outlook based on our calm growth strategy, as Mr. Gong just mentioned. Now, with these 4 items in mind, I would like to move into the details. In the second quarter, we booked RMB 6.7 billion revenues and RMB 344 million non-GAAP operating profit, and at the same time, achieved quarterly operating cash flow break-even. As Mr. Gong mentioned, this is a remarkable result as we fight against the gravity of macro downturns throughout the quarter. Within revenue line, the membership service revenue was RMB 4.3 billion, up 7% year-over-year, mainly driven by ARM, or average revenue per membership. The solid performance of membership revenues was partially offset by the weaker non-membership services revenues due to challenging macro environment. Now move to the cost and expenses. In the second quarter, cost of revenues was RMB 5.2 billion, representing a cost saving of RMB 1.6 billion, down 24% annually and 12% sequentially. The content cost, a significant component of cost of revenues, decreased 24% year-over-year when we delayed several top shows to the third quarter. The net result is that our gross profit margin reached 21% in the second quarter, and it consistently expanded in the past quarters, namely from 7% to 12% to 18%, then to the 21% in the latest quarter, reflecting ongoing gains in ROI of our content businesses. Meanwhile, we kept our spending discipline and stabilized the total operating expenses in the second quarter. As a result, the expanded gross margin and disciplined expenses control combined contributed to our non-GAAP profit expansion. For the second quarter, non-GAAP operating profit was RMB 644 million, grew 5% quarter-over-quarter. At the end of the second quarter, the company had cash equivalent, restricted cash, and short-term investments of RMB 4.9 billion, compared with RMB 5.2 billion in the previous quarter. We managed our operating cash flow well, achieving operating cash flow break-even for the first time in the second quarter. Today, we also entered into an agreement with PAG, the leading investment firm in Asia Pacific, to raise 500 million through convertible bond issuance. We would like to thank our new investors' trust, and we are confident about our future performances on the common growth strategy, aiming to achieve both revenue and profit growth and business healthiness at the same time, and we will continue to create value to all the stakeholders. In summary, again, to recap 4 deliverables that we have presented to the investors. The first is the profit growth. The second is operating cash flow break-even. The third is the down fundraising, and the fourth one is the optimistic growth outlook based on the common growth strategy. For the detailed financial information, please refer to our press release on our IR website. Now we will open the floor for Q&A.
Thank you. If you wish to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. Please ask your question in Chinese first and then translate your question into English. We ask that you please limit yourself to 1 question at a time, after which you may then rejoin the queue. Today's first question comes from Alicia Yap with Citigroup. Please go ahead.
Hello, thank you. 管理层晚上好，谢谢接受我的提问，也恭喜这个很进步强劲的业绩。我的问题是跟这个会员业务有关的，就是说，像管理层能不能帮我们梳理一下，就是2季度会员趋势的一些演变，然后3季度会员订阅这个趋势如何？然后管理层能否也分享我们如何看待这个会员业务的长期发展和公司对会员业务未来的一些战略方向？我自己翻译一下。Thanks, management. Good evening. My question is related to the membership business. Can management elaborate a little bit more the trend that we are seeing for the second quarter in terms of the membership performance, and how is membership subscription and the revenue trending in the third quarter? And also, can management share your thoughts on how you view the membership business longer term, and what are your future strategy? Thank you.
好的，我是龚源，我来回答这个问题，分两部分吧。我先说第一部分，就是2季度跟3季度会员业务的情况。2季度这个会员的这个收入增长是符合我们预期的，尤其多个季度那个按值在提高，但是会员数就是这个平均一个季度的这个会员数低于我们的预期，有几方面的原因。第一个，它本身2季度就是一个淡季，特别是今年。第二是这个疫情导致2季度疫情非常严重的，导致院线电影这个上线非常少。第二个窗口期，院线电影第二个窗口期是线上，导致我们线上电影也少。第三，个别不多，但是还是有，因为疫情，因为审核的原因，我们的这个内容延迟上线。3季度的情况大为好转。第一个是暑期是一个非常好的季节，然后第二是特别是8月份以来，8月初以来，我们这个好的剧上线，包括《天才基本法》。唐人学等等，现在包括现在热播的，所以我们对3季度的会员，无论是金额还是会员数的增长，都是保持乐观的态度。
Okay, let me answer the questions in two parts. First, I would like to explain the trend of membership business from Q2 to Q3. First of all, for Q2, overall, the revenue performance met our expectations. The ARM for our membership continues to grow in the past quarters. However, there are some relatively fluctuations in the absolute subscriber numbers, which is below our expectations. There are a few reasons that contributed to that outcome. First, typically Q2 is the low season for the year. Second, Q2, because of the pandemic resurgence, there are a limited of theatrical movies that were released online, which triggered a lower number of movies that we can broadcast on the platform. And third, to some extent, there are some relatively content delays of our offerings on the platform, also contributed to the resurgence of COVID in China. And entering into Q3, we're seeing a significant improvement in the membership business, also because Q3 is traditionally the summer peak season. So starting from August, we've seen a lot of the major titles released online, including The Heart of Genius, the very blockbuster of Tang Lan Xue, which is the love between fairy and devil. So currently, overall, we are optimistic of the Q3 revenue performance for the sub-business, as well as the absolute subscriber base for Q3.
好，对会员业务带来的 这个增长是这样的，就是从2020年1季度开始，疫情开始，到现在属于一个快3年的时间，2年半的时间，处于一个非正常的业务规律的阶段。每年有一次大的疫情，20年初的比较大，今年年初的，今年上半年的也很大，去年21年稍好一些。那这种疫情短期内对会员业务是积极的作用但是这种积极的是指会员数增加，大概也就持续2个月、3个月的时间，然后带来的负面作用更大。所以这个2年半的时间，会员业务属于一种非正常的、稳定的、非正常、非稳定、非持续健康发展的这种状态。原因很多，其中也包括内容供给不稳定不足，也包括这个审核因为疫情的影响，还是影响这个审核的效率。然后也包括这个消费者的消费意愿下降，因为宏观经济有些人的这个经济的状况还受些了负面影响，时间长了还是受影响，消费意愿自然的就下降等等，这些从2年半的时间看，这种负面影响因素更大一些。但是从现在看，这个 COVID 的这个Omicron 这个负面影响越来越小，然后经济明显的开始这个叫恢复吧，消费者的消费意愿从暑期来看也明显的增強提高，所以我们中长期对会员业务非常看好。然后先翻译这段，好，那后面还有几句。
Sure. In the past 2.5 almost 3 years, the membership business experienced abnormal performance because of the COVID situation in China. For short-term speaking, there were some positive impacts. For example, we have seen sub-base increase because of the COVID, but that situation probably will last a shorter period of time, from 2 to 3 months. Overall speaking, I think the COVID situation saw more on the negative side of our membership business. That triggered to the abnormal, pretty volatile and quite unhealthy development of the business. And from the operational side, for the content offerings, we have seen that has also negatively impacted of our content offerings. Then in the last 2 or 3 years, the approval process of our content business also had some impact as well, and also the consumer spending motivation were also impacted due to the COVID situation in China, and negatively impacted by the macro environment. So overall speaking, I would rephrase or I will summarize the past 2 or 3 years as more on the negative side rather than the positive side for our membership business. But currently, because of the whole pandemic situation is gradually improving, and we've seen the negative impact is gradually decreasing over the recent period. Especially since summer, we've seen a significant pickup in the consumption of the consumer spending, and the sentiment is positive on that side. So overall speaking, mid to long term of our membership business, we are still very optimistic of our membership business.
刚才提到的这些负面因素，我们预期从3季度下半段开始，到未来，在逐渐这种负面因素在逐渐的减退，甚至是回暖，开始向好的方向这个发展，会导致2个变化。第一个变化呢，就是会员的数，我们认为会增加，至少对我们来讲是这样的。第二就是我们最近的6个季度一直按这个值在增长，这种趋势可能会 得到这个保持，这个数不一定是这个数啊，但是这个趋势会保持。
Okay. Earlier, I touched on the negative impact because of the pandemic situation in the past couple of years, starting in Q3, especially the second half of Q3, until the future. We are seeing gradual decrease of the negative impact because of COVID, and we're seeing a pickup in the overall business for our membership business. There are 2 points. First, we anticipate the sub-base will continue to grow in the future, and secondly, for our ARM, that continue to grow in the past 6 quarters, and we anticipate this positive trend will continue in the future as well.
好，以上，谢谢。
Thank you.
Thank you.
And our next question today comes from Thomas Chong at Jefferies. Please go ahead.
晚上好，谢谢管理层接受我的提问。刚刚在财报中我们提到了稳健增长的一个概念，为什么利润的增速呢会比收入的增速呢更快呢？Thanks management for taking my questions. Just now in the prepared remarks we have talked about calm growth. Why is that our profit growth will be faster than the revenue growth? Thank you.
好，我来回答这个问题，我还是龚宇。就是我们这个稳定增长是这样，就是去年年底制定的策略，今年的策略就是开源节流，控制成本，尽可能的增加收入。那为了实现这个目标，我们采取了特别多的措施，而且采取的措施强度非常大。经过2个季度的试探，我们知道了这个底线在哪儿，然后我们发现一些规律性的东西，已经发现了一些这个关键有规律性的这规则哈，所以在这种情况下，我们在一些我们预判效率比较高的这个点上，要增加一些投入。这种的投入，我们相信回报是非常高的，也就是会导致利润的增长会高于这个收入的增长。当然是在增加投入的情况下，比如说我说2点就大家清楚了。比如说上半年我们在内容和用户增长方面 ，user growth 这2个方面，缩减的这比例非常高。但是我们也发现了再增加一些的这种投入，它的回报会很高。也就是说，上半年试探出了这个底线在哪儿，我们适度增加，肯定从收入利润上都会明显增加，然后这种效率是高的。这跟以前过去时间靠高投入拉升收入，不太在意利润的这种策略是完全不同的。以上。
For the calm growth strategy, let me explain a little how we arrived to this strategy. Towards the end of last year, we rolled out a strategy that will increase our efficiency and optimize costs. We rolled out the different measures and plans to execute this strategy. After the past 2 quarters, we successfully kind of figured out what's the minimum that we can do to achieve this result. And we also figured out the pattern that will guide us or enable us to achieve better efficiency and improvement in the future. For example, we now can know after we have increasing investment in some of the content that will generate high ROI, then that will positively lead to the higher margin growth for profit, because we think a lot of the investment that we can gain from the past experiences, we know the content with ROI, higher ROI that we can invest in that will brought us the same result or even better results from the user front. So that's why we think, overall speaking, going forward, the profit will grow faster than revenue. And also, we think, given under the reasonable amount of increasing investment, that will expedite the process even further. And looking back through the first half of this year, we actually controlled some of our investment in content, and that we also see some fluctuations in the user growth that negatively impacted due to such reason. But going forward, we know if we increase the investment for these two areas, we will gain higher returns in the future, which means we will gain higher efficiency for any of the investment we put in going forward.
好，谢谢。
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And our next question today comes from Shuqing Zhang with CICC. Please go ahead.
感谢管理层接受我的提问，然后恭喜再次实现季度盈利。那今天我们是同时公告了和 PAG 达成5亿美元的一个可转债融资，那能不能请就是管理层多分享一些信息？然后在资本市场方面，未来我们会有什么规划？And I will translate myself. Thanks management for taking my question, and congratulations on another strong quarter. Today we have announced the $500 million private placement of convertible notes with PAG. So could management share more details about this? And in terms of financing activities, what's the plan for the future? Thank you.
Hi, thanks, Jixing. This is Jun. So for the sake of saving time, probably I will just respond in English. As you just mentioned, this afternoon actually the company has announced to enter into the agreement with PAG for $500 million convertible issuance. And as you know, PAG is a leading investment firm in Asia Pacific with approximately, I think, 50 billion AUM and with accumulated investment over 70 billion. And they are very active, very seasoned investors with unique know-how in the digital media space with a strong historical track record. So this is the general background. I think this financing illustrates PAG's recognition on companies' improved fundamentals. And we do have improved competitiveness. We have margin expansion. We have improved financial healthiness. And with all being said, I think most importantly, both sides have conviction that the iQIYI's media business still has had great future, I think, growth potential. And this is one of the most important things. Then another consensus, I would say that between two parties is the iQIYI's value has been heavily underestimated. And one of the catalysts for value recovery probably is to find a way to solve the current debt overhang as the market pick up. And this $500 million financing is a joint cooperation. I think the first step on company's liability management, although it's not enough to solve all the problems. And we all clear that $500 million is only a stepstone, and we still have a journey to go to solve all the problems. And during this process, we do need collaboration and efforts from all the partners, including the company, including our employees, including the company stakeholders and note holders as well. And it's still with the completion, I would say with the signing of this $500 million financing, we are still not in the position of sit back and relax mode. We are still going to work hard on that. And of course, we are very confident that if we can solve these technical issues with all collaborations from all parties, if we can recover the company's value, all the value unlocked can help the investors whoever has the company can help these investors to gain, I would say, satisfying reward and returns going forward. So this is all that I will share regarding our product placement as well as the future, some of the future thinkings. Thank you.
Thank you. And our next question today comes from Lincoln Kong with Goldman Sachs. Please go ahead.
谢谢接受我的提问。我还想问一下公司最近和抖音的合作。那我们也看到这个咱们和抖音达成这个内容资产的这些授权合作，那应该怎么样去想这个未来可能的各种各样的合作形式以及对爱奇艺来说从用户流量的获取我们现有的这些版权资产的这个再利用和未来的商业化的这个推广以及财务上可能会有哪些方面的一些帮助？So the question is about the cooperation with Douyin. Since we have signed an agreement on the copyright video contents, so how should we think about the future potential collaboration formats, and how would this help us in terms of user acquisition, copyright distribution, and other potential commercial efforts to our financials?
好的，谢谢。我回答的问题我归结。我们经过这个数个月跟抖音的这个沟通和谈判，最后达成了一致。双方在整个过程中也抱着非常真诚、非常务实、双赢的这种目标和态度去做的这种沟通谈判。当然中间的各种细节、各种困难，这个不一一的说了。这个过程肯定是这个经历了很多。简单的说，爱奇艺的付出就是将爱奇艺有相关权利的内容授权抖音及它这个抖音生态系统中的创作者去做二次创作，产生这个抖音平台上的这个内容，有价值的内容。那对于爱奇艺来讲，获得的这个是两样，第一个是给爱奇艺的导流，当然也是通过短视频内容短再长的这种主要方式，来给爱奇艺导来用户和会员。第二是爱奇艺从抖音获得一些这种现金收入。那么通过就这个获得流量的这件事儿是多方面这个合作共同达到这个目的的，包括内容运营方面的合作，也包括技术产品方面的一些合作，来达到这些目标。因为这协议刚签不久，所以在运营方面的合作，在技术产品改造等等方面的合作，会在3季度逐渐实施。我们预计这些措施应该在3季度底能够完成。以上，谢谢。
Okay. Let me explain or elaborate a little bit more on the Douyin collaboration. We went through the negotiation process in the past month, and both parties were very sincere, and we wanted to create a win-win situation for this ecosystem as well as for the video space. I probably won't go too much into the details of the process, but there are a few aspects I wanted to share with you guys. First, within this collaboration, iQIYI is authorized Douyin to use some of the content that have the license right to distribute, using for creation of short-term videos. But within that framework, we had a specific arrangement for Archuang, which means the preparation for the short-form videos. The premise is that we won't hurt the long-form video viewing experience for this collaboration, which also means that we can use this collaboration for many of our very high-quality premium content to reach a broader audience, which also means utilize the short form video to draw some of the traffic to iQIYI platform for the long form video. And this is one aspect. Another aspect is we're getting the financial returns for this collaboration. The results you will see starting from the third quarter of this year, it had positive impact for revenue as well as profit and as well as cash flow had positive impact because of this collaboration. And thirdly, we also will collaborate in other operational fronts, for example, products, technology, and daily operations of the platform. Because we just signed this agreement in Q3 in July, we are getting things worked out, and we will roll out products and also content, starting from, I would say, this toward the end of Q3. So you will anticipate more products and content related to this collaboration with Douyin starting from that period.
最后再补充，就从中长期看，这个合作协议带来的价值，两方面。第一个方面是对行业的这个价值，就是爱奇艺、抖音啊，都是这个长短视频各自的这个行业的头部玩家。双方的这次合作，事实上建立了两个行业这个合作的规则。这规则的目标是实现双方的共赢。然后这个以后两个行业在相关性的这个方面，能够良性的长期发展。然后对整个的生态系统，包括媒体平台、用户，还有这个合作伙伴，都产生了特别稳定的积极作用。然后第二点呢，就是为创作者提供了特别好的版权解决方案，推动这个影视内容知识产权的这个合法化、规范化，抑制短视频对影视内容这种长视频的侵权的行为，让这个影视内容的创作者、制作公司可以更专心的去创作，少一些这种因为版权官司带来的这种的精力的消耗和烦恼。然后对那个爱奇艺来讲呢，就是说我们的这种优质内容，长期价值更被行业和用户认可，以后这种长期价值更有这个货币化的空间，这是一点。然后第二点呢，就是爱奇艺的这个潜在用户可以更有方式获得爱奇艺的内容的这些信息，从而转移到爱奇艺平台来做观看和消费。大概吧，这些。
Okay, let me share some of the mid to long-term views of this collaboration. First, I will share from the industry perspective. First of all, because iQIYI and Douyin are both the leading players in the market, one is for short form and one is for long form. So under this collaboration, very importantly, we're setting rules for this industry and creating win-win collaboration for both platforms. So basically, this demonstrates the very positive and sustainable development of this video business in the long term, which is very beneficial for both platforms and also for the users as well as for this ecosystem. And second, for creators and the industry, we're creating a very, I would say, advanced or better IP solutions, which will push the IP production as well as the legal enforcement of our premium long-form content. And also, it will, to some extent, decrease, I would say, that copyright infringement situation in some of the short-form videos. And also, very importantly, for the creator's perspective, I will say they have more time now to be concentrated and more dedicated to bring more creative talent and unleash their creative talent to bring more positive and high quality content to our users. And this will also be very beneficial for the IT license holders as well. Above were the positive impact for the video industry. And I will share on some of the views for iQIYI specific. First of all, I will say this collaboration demonstrated the very premium content of iQIYI are recognized by the industry as well as our users. Also, it demonstrates the monetization potentials of our high quality premium content in the future. Second, through this collaboration, it will help iQIYI high premium content to reach a broader group of users in creating bigger impact of our content. That will also draw increasing number of users as well as members to the platform. Thank you.
Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our question and answer session. I'd like to turn the conference back over to Ms. Yu for closing remarks.
Thanks to everyone for joining the call. Please contact us if you have any further questions. See you next quarter. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. This concludes today's conference call. We thank you all for attending today's presentation. You may now disconnect your lines and have a wonderful day.